All right, all right. Good evening. Happy Sunday, everybody. Oh my gosh. This is our first interview. Happy 2022. We
Happy
ain't seen y'all all year
2022.
besides posting and sharing people businesses. Let me tell y'all are doing the dang thing out there. And I'm happy, proud of everybody. So, welcome to tonight's interview.
Yep.
Okay. Hey, Bill.
Man, it's been a while.
Been a while.
We've been, what, 3 months?
It seems like it's been longer, but
It might have been longer. We've been focusing on our primary thing. And for those of you that have been with us throughout the years, this is our third year actually of doing our interview sessions.
yeah,
So now officially rebranded as the mindset of an entrepreneur. We're no longer called the work hour.
yep.
So formerly known as the work hour, but now we're now called the mindset of an entrepreneur, where we focus on the three phases that we have over the 3 years we've been in business and interviewing people. Uh, find out is starting,
Building,
building, and maintaining the
maintaining.
business, and so that's our new brand, and that's what we're sticking with. So again, thank you guys for joining us, and those of you that have been with us along this journey. Thank you. We're excited about this one. This has been something. It's been a long time coming, and so we're excited. We're excited.
Mhm.
We're excited.
We are excited, y'all. We have Liberia's, I'm going to call her leading lady because that's what she's doing. She is the leading lady, you guys. Y'all don't know. Y'all are in for a treat. I don't know if y'all follow her on YouTube or not, but you will after tonight, okay? So this is Liberia's leading lady, YouTube's favorite high cheekbone sister, Ms. Zawadi M, you guys. We're going to bring her on. Okay, let's get her on here. Hey,
Hi.
hello.
Hey, Bill and Mimi. How are you?
Good. How are you feeling today?
I'm blessed. I'm blessed. The sun is out here in Oregon. I'm great. How
Good,
y'all doing?
good, good, good. It is a pleasure to have you here tonight with us. We are so excited about this conversation. Hopefully, we can keep it together, but I know it's going to get juicy. It's gonna be good. The questions are going to flow, and we might end up being here all night. Let's hope not, but I already.
Okay.
Sunday.
Yeah, it's all good. It's Sunday.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you are doing some great things right now, Emma, and we just want to let the world know. We want everybody to be a part if you so have them. But we are very proud of you of what you're doing right now in Liberia, and not only in Liberia, you're doing it across Africa. We want you to give the people of the mindset of an entrepreneur. Let them know a little bit of who you are, and then we'll get into it. Okay.
Straight out of LIB, guys. Anyway, thank you guys so much for having me on your channel, Bill and Mimi. You guys are awesome. Thank you for having me here. I am from Liberia, 231, West Africa. I was born in West Africa, Liberia. That's my home right there. I grew up in Ghana and I moved to the US. I've been here for some time now. Obtained my degree in business management, mostly healthcare. And ever since, I've worked on the continent in terms of establishing new businesses and looking at different opportunities across the continent. So I do have businesses in Ghana, Rwanda, and Liberia. I am currently exploring South Africa. A lot of my work mainly focuses on impacting people on the continent, giving our youth jobs, and also generating profit. So, profit and impact are my two top priorities, of course.
Like that.
Yeah, so you don't want to just, make an impact and have no generational wealth to build for yourself and your kids and those to follow. So, those are my two top priorities as well. Making
So
an
you're
impact on
not
the continent.
just real quick, I want people to be clear. You're not a non-profit entity. You are
Definitely
a
not.
for-profit.
For profit, making an impact as well.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good, Emma. So the topic tonight is obviously why invest in Africa. Give us the reason why should we invest in Africa?
Other than that, the continent is very profitable. Let's talk about the opportunities that are currently on the continent. First, we talk about the youth population. Africa does have a majority of their population within the youth. So, what does that do for a business? It allows for a good skill set, right? People that are looking for change, those that are looking to mobilize to bring to work in a job force or a workforce that can be sustainable. Those that are very curious to work, fresh ideas, and willing to work. You have that in the workforce, and 70% of people in in Africa and wanting to join the workforce are youth, and we have the largest number of youth in the world. Take a look at it, Africa. By 2050, we should be about 500 million in terms of our youth population. So we have that. The other thing is living standards are changing across the continent. So
Wow.
more and more people are looking at newer opportunities to tap into. You look at starting costs to start a business in Africa is far more less than places like, for example, the United States or even Europe. So the penetration of a new business is
Yeah.
lesser than places here in the U.S., for example, because of course I live in the U.S. and I also have a business in the U.S., so I know that. Um, you see newer opportunities in Africa. But by newer, your ideas go a long way because it's not overly saturated. So your ideas are newer. Your ideas does have the ability to expand further than if you were to start some in a place that is overly penetrated, right? You have businesses and your competition is you have more competition than not. So in Africa, as a new business, you are establishing a form of loyalty on that side, and also having more people to tap into what it is that you're bringing into the continent. So there's just a lot more opportunities that I would say, and of course your starting cost is lower than that of other places. I mean, there's a lot more. I feel like you can make a lot more money there, but that's besides the point.
Right.
But
Right.
Of course. Yeah, that's the main thing
so,
right now. Is the opportunities. It's like you said, it's not saturated.
hmm
You have an idea, guaranteed. If you go out there, you're able to make it work for you and profit from it as well.
Well, we got to be
yeah,
careful too because you don't want to tell people that they can just go out there and just like a dream come through
right, right.
and start, what I'm saying, start monetizing their ideas right away. We want to understand that just like everything in life, you have to put in the work, the consistency, and the dedication that is required, right? Because then we're used to these instant, the multi-level marketing type thing where, I promise you a Benz, and all this stuff. I think we got to get rid of that mindset because in business, there's high risks.
Yeah,
Mhm.
So
so true.
without the risks, everybody would do it. So because of the risk and how it is, high it is, people are oftentimes kind of drawn back from it. So then you just being able to see the opportunity and see that, hey, this market, which is Africa as a continent, there's 54 countries. These countries, a lot of them have been involved in civil war or some sort of conflict for a long time. Now everybody's recovering and people are moving forward. So now it's like the beginning stages, right?
Hmm.
So I'm just trying to make sure I'm hearing you
Right,
correctly
right, right.
because it's the beginning stages. It's easier for you to go in with an idea and you're able to market that idea because you don't have much competition. Is that essentially what you're saying?
That's exactly what similarly to what I'm saying. There are risks, obviously, with as with any business that you try to establish. So you have your perceived risk and you have your actual risk. So
Right.
the thing with Africa is that when you go as an entrepreneur or somebody looking to explore the continent, you have to act and behave like the people on the ground.
Mm.
So the saying that once in Rome, you have to act like the Romans, right? When you go to Africa as a person looking to establish, your goal is to collaborate with those who are on the ground because now this is a new environment that you're trying to study,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
You have to assess the risk that are on the ground and ask yourself, do I see the glass half full, right? It's true. You have to ask yourself, Right? Like, how do I see the glass?
Yep.
That's one thing you want to ask yourself. How do I see the glass? And you have to tell yourself, okay, do I want to be on the train or do I want to be left behind? Do I see the opportunities here? Do I assess my risk? Do I risk, do I take that risk or do I regret taking that risk?
Mm.
Again, if it works for you based on, of course, gathering your info, collaborating, all of this, if it works for you, then you do take the risk. But you don't go there and say, well, because Oadi says X, Y, and Z, I'm now going to start a fish farm, for example. What
Right.
knowledge do you have to start a fish farm? Have you studied the market enough? Have you done your market analysis enough to do
Mhm.
so? So why it's okay to assess the risk, you have to ask yourself if you've done your homework in taking those risks
Right.
before you get on the train, type of thing.
Wow. So we talked earlier about it's been so much uh, uh, chaos or just all these things that have happened to Africa as a continent, these countries, um, and poverty. And you hear words like poverty, third world country. You hear all these words. Why do you think these things exist on supposedly the richest continent on the face of this earth? Why do
Mm.
you think poverty exists in that continent?
I like your the name of your channel because it's of the mindset, right? um we as people, we don't assign value to what we bring to the table. We
Right.
see other people's idea as being more valuable
Mm.
versus our own ideas. So the continent is so relying on the aid that we get from outside compared to assessing the value we have on the continent. So if we are so reliant on somebody feeding us all the time, we don't feed ourselves because the US is going to be feeding you it. You're going to be relying so much on the aid. Europe is going to be feeding you all the time. So therefore, you don't assess your potential. Therefore, you don't assess your own value. So you don't assign value to yourself. So
Wow.
therefore, you remain stagnant. And that's why our continent is stagnant. Some people might say there's corruption, but even in the great country of the United States, corruption runs rampant, right? But sometimes it's not overt,
Right.
so we don't it's not very visible for us to see. So we say Africa, there's so much corruption. Africa is the mindset that allow us to be where we are. We are overexploited. We don't assess our value. So when somebody say, Bill, I'm going to give you $5 for a resource that could be worth millions of dollars, you're going to take that $5 because you don't even know the worth of your resource.
Wow. So you're saying poverty exists because we don't know our worth?
Yes.
Yes, definitely.
Wow.
Hmm.
So you can't sugarcoat that.
No, I'm not. I'm
Okay.
not going to.
I just want to make sure I heard you correctly because that's very direct. And I think this question is important and very valid because how can we move forward as a country, as a continent, unless we start to assess, right? You have to self assess. You got to look within and see what some of the shortcomings are, and then
Mhm.
being able to prepare for those shortcomings and to anticipate when they're going to happen. But if we don't and we're naive, thinking that, oh no, nothing's wrong with us, and everything is okay and all this stuff, and you wonder why there's no progress, right? There's nothing's happening to move the continent or these individual countries as forward collectively or even
Right, right, right.
individually. So because there's few countries that's progressing, it is so hard because that's what maybe 10% of the continent as a whole that's really saying progress. But then the rest of the 90%, uh, it's weighing, right? Because now I can't
Yeah.
do business across borders because of those issues. So even if my neighbor is developed and I'm not developed, it's hard for me then to actually successfully do business with you. So I'm hearing you also saying that it starts in the house individually in these countries, but then it needs to spread
It
abroad
needs to, yep.
right, collectively, so we can all know our self-worth, because all the countries on that continent are being exploited.
Mm,
But for example, Africa, the land space that we talked about this previously, we have the most land space to cultivate food. But when you think of the continent, you think of food insecurity. Why does a continent that has so much land space
Mm,
carry this weight of being insecure when it comes to food? You have the space to plant, to increase your GDP across agriculture, but you're still hungry.
mm.
Why are you still hungry? You have the land,
Right.
you have the people, you have the youth to plan and be within this sector. Why are you still hungry?
That's something you say all the time.
Because you're looking for rice from UK, you're looking for rice from India, from Brazil to come in when you can plant rice. And that's your staple food. I mean, so it's all in the mind here and assessing your worth. And that's one of the key problems.
Wow.
so I'm big on problem solving, sis, and I commend you, because again, I don't think people understand what you're doing as a one person, as an individual, right? It's heavy, right? Because again, it's easy to criticize and to critique something that you're not doing. Oftentimes we
Right,
sit
right,
and
right.
watch sports, and we beating up the players on the field. Like, "Hey, you got the ball, you did this, that." But then it's like you sit back and say, what would happen if that was you in that position? What would you do, right? So
Right.
now that you're in the heat of it, I think we have to pause and really commend you in front of everybody and say you're
Thanks.
doing a phenomenal job, because people like you have impacted what my wife and I has been doing, but we also know there's more to be done.
Yeah.
So the individual, that's why I say it starts at home, right? We was
Hmm.
growing up, we heard that all the time. Discipline starts at home, and then you can go out there and then you can change the world. You can influence the world. But the fact that you say, you know what, this is enough,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
I want to segue really into another question that we have is, you don't need this.
Hmm.
Right? You're highly educated, right? You have a good job here, right? You have good income, you have a good, middle class access to resources that you don't really need to go to Liberia
Right.
or the continent. What for, and why are you doing this?
Um, in order for change to take place, we have to be the change that we want to see, right? So, in order for to talk about somebody else's backyard, my backyard needs to be clean. So, from my perspective, if I'm looking at Liberia as a country that's not progressing, I need to be the example of progression. So, my goal is to go there and utilize my skills that I have gained to make an impact to those who are less fortunate or perhaps don't know the way out. So that's my first objective. And then I am building generational wealth, right? So those two things are just really, really related. That's why I'm heavily involved and then I see that my country does have the opportunities that if I were just to be in a specific place working 9 to 5, uh, 9 to 5, going home and just taking, sleeping when I could go there,
Mm,
capitalize on these opportunities, work for myself, impact a larger generation, the generation at large, and build wealth for my family. So that's what Africa offers me. So what else can I say? Those are the things that I get when I'm on the continent, when I'm doing business on the continent, when I'm interacting with people. The benefits are far more than the losses. So,
Mhm. I think too, like like you said, when you're on the continent, when you actually visit there, your heart actually goes out to that country. Like I know the ideas have to flow. Like I want to do this. It's a
right.
must. It
yeah.
becomes one story. And my husband always tell people the story when he came back from Liberia that I told him, like, you left your heart in Liberia.
Oh,
Like, take that.
yeah, you do. You do.
But it was a little piece left there still, and
Yeah.
where you feel the mandate, like, yeah, okay, I have a job to do.
I
Hmm. Hmm.
think I think too, people don't understand how wealth the mindset of a wealthy person is, right?
Mm, mm,
Because a wealthy person is always going to think about, because money to me is a byproduct of you really solving a problem, right?
mm-hmm,
That's
mm-hmm.
me. That's my opinion
Right,
and
right, right.
view of what wealth is. Wealth is an idea, right? We talk about
Mm,
the intellectual properties and all these things, the ideas you have. Well, that's the actual wealth. Because if you start solving those problems, money's gonna come looking for you. But I think, like you said, because we don't know our worth, and to move forward, you have to know your worth. If not, you're gonna be selling things at a discount.
Mhm.
So then your whole thinking is being sold at a discount.
mm,
Everything
mm.
you do is at a discount. When people out here, you have heard of brands that don't even give you no discounts.
Mm.
When
No.
have you actually heard of giving a discount on the Maybach, or these Rolls Royces and all this 50% off? No, they don't even advertise, first of all, right? That's why they hold their value. But us, the minute you come, we'll give it to you.
Yep.
Then you come, and we don't. You don't even have to ask. We'll
Yep.
give it to you. Here you go. Right here you go, and then say, "Can you please give me something back?" So,
Okay.
so I like what you're saying. At the end of the day, if you go on the continent and you see there's a problem, you focus on the solution of that problem. Money's gonna come running after you.
Definitely, definitely, definitely. And that's what you know. That's what that is. That is what is actually very visible on the continent. But you have to go looking for it. You have to go seeking that opportunity there.
So since you said that seeking an opportunity, how do you get connected, Emma? Just so happen we're able to be connected to you. But everybody else may not have that same opportunity, you know. So how do they get connected to the right people? Like I'm not from Africa or nothing like that, and I want to go there. I want to start business. I want to help my people or whatever have you. How do they get started, or what do they do? I mean, they have YouTube all day long. You can search on there, but to reach these people, is it how would you say they get connected to the right people?
So LinkedIn tend to be very it's a very good resource for professionals on the continent, out of Africa as well. So that's why I found majority of my professional contacts as it relates to the agriculture sector. LinkedIn, reaching out to somebody, hey, how are you? My name is so and so. I'm interested in this. Do you have a moment to chat? You
Mm-hmm.
know, YouTube is another source. The content on YouTube is just is all over the place, could probably overwhelm you, but
Mm-hmm.
you want to narrow it down and then contact whomever you think could respond to you, and
Yeah.
you try to obtain information. You are doing information gathering, try to have this conversation with these people, like, okay, I'm not from there, but I would like to know, I'm very curious. And then you read, you form your own you when you read, you're not looking to find all the negative things that's being said. You have to form your own opinion of what you've read.
Right.
And
Mm.
that's so, because things are out there, a lot of information is out there, but does that mean the info is right? I don't think so. So you want to form your own, you want to analyze and then get things out of it, and then say, okay, this is the pro, this is the con. Let me do further research by reaching out to people who have had experience,
Yeah.
and then you gather. That's you're gathering information, and then of course, if permissible, you go and check out the place. One time may not be enough, because obviously it is the first exposure that you're getting.
Right.
Twice, and then even then, if problems are visible, you still try to do more research, reaching out to more people to see if that's something you even want to solve, if that's a risk that you want to take. People
Correct.
are always around to talk about themselves, to talk about what they're able to do for you. You just have to stretch your hand to get that info.
So, just a follow-up question with that, Emma. I think most of us, because of the war that was in our country, uh, we were able to come here to America and Europe and everywhere else. Our people had the opportunity to go to flee and for safety. But now most of us ended up in America
Mhm.
and come to America, and we have interacted with a lot of. As for me, my wife is an African American, right? but I don't see a lot of people intentionally sharing. I know a lot of it is happening now, right? But
Hmm.
as far as being intentional about bridging that gap, right, with the African American, a lot of people had tried, right, just like everything else, but has failed, right, to an extent, right. So you had the Pan African movement, and you had all these great people that was supporting that movement, right. So the biggest issue now is we have to build together.
Hmm. Hmm.
And a lot of more African American, African descendant that came via slavery are wanting to go back to the continent, but don't
Hmm.
necessarily have the connection or the way to go back
Hmm.
and be uh, uh, add or be a contributor to the continent or a specific country as a whole. What I know you have been engaging with a lot of these individuals. What would you say you have been saying that's giving you hope that we are moving in the right direction?
Okay. So a few years ago, I would definitely say Africans and African Americans, they lack understanding of each other. That's
Okay.
what I would say. So we don't understand African Americans. African Americans don't understand us. That's
Okay.
that's what I observed before, previously, right? So the idea would be, well, they feel this way and I feel this way. Well, are you listening to this person? And vice versa, are you listening? What are we really getting at? Or are we just going back and forth with each other, this and this and that? But now what I see though, if people are actually mobilizing, I don't know if it's because of Ghana year of the return, because I've seen an increased trend in terms of people going back there, people really exploring. You've seen a lot of curiosity. Like I've seen a lot of curiosity really across Ghana within the last 2 3 years. Recently, however, when I have done my YouTube videos and I've done some interviews, I've gotten a lot of emails asking me about, how can African American make an impact in Liberia.
Hmm.
My thing is to talk about their African Americans, sorry, African American contribution to Liberia's history. That's
Right.
where I start from, like how impactful African Americans were for Liberia. And so when you talk about the good, right, the conversation it goes a better direction than not. And so I identify all of these aspects, and how African American went over there, our first president from Virginia, like all of these things, a little history lessons, and we talk about these things back and forth. Then I try to be a resource, because this is a place a lot of people have not gone to, and of course with the war and infrastructure issues, and I explain to them there are risks, right?
Right.
There are barriers to progress, but then there are opportunities to be found
Right.
in Liberia, and this is how you get to it. So instead of saying I can help you, I put myself in the position to provide information as best as I can. As you guys have seen, my channel is about providing information about business movement
Right.
across the continent, and so I just do the best I can to be a resource to those who are looking for it. A simple email like, "Hey, Zawadi, I'm interested in Liberia." Okay, great. Let's get on the phone call. Let me tell you more about Liberia. And even sometimes I mention Ghana because I have a business in Ghana too. And so sharing of information, those who are looking for it, providing that to them is exactly what I try to do. But I have been seeing an increase land purchase. A lot of African Americans are actually buying land in Liberia
Okay.
for real estate. Really fascinated by all of those things. More of them are actually also looking into farming. So I'm excited. Every time I get the email, hey, I'm interested in this, but I would like to know more. I just share a lot of info so they can be at ease about it, and of course, I encourage them to go back home to eventually.
To be able to partake.
And go back home.
Yeah,
I like that.
yeah,
Go back home because it is our home. We
yeah,
have we have a connection to Liberia, and
yeah.
I like how you explained that you give them that history, because a lot before I got with my husband, I never knew that the ties between America and Liberia, our flag is pretty much like the same. And so with us knowing that, kind of like, it'll draw your attention in a little bit more, like,
Right,
wait
right.
a minute, grandma came from
Yeah.
there.
So true.
It's good information to know, and especially like, honestly for myself, I really didn't know nothing about like Africans or anything until getting with my husband. And for him, when he first told me like his grandma last name was Harris, I'm like, that's American name, like what? And so he had to break it down to me, and so I was like, wow, okay, so now I understand
Mhm.
now. No wonder I always felt like I had a little heritage. You know,
We cooking them Liberian food.
yeah. So man, so um what does like failure mean to you, Emma? As an investing, like I know when you invest you can expect to fail, but failures are not bad, but what does it mean to you?
Failure is a learning curve for me.
Okay.
So, as I have mentioned on my channel, that when I started the poultry business, the supply of eggs, I failed miserably because I was very curious. I was like, oh, this is a good idea. I've done my market analysis. They don't have a lot of eggs on the market. The farms are not sustainable. They are importing eggs from Holland. Like
Mm.
I need to find solution quickly. So I jumped into the agricultural poultry business, and I started with 500 birds and they all died after 5 months.
Oh my
And
God.
I was like, okay, so now this sucks. Because obviously I wasn't present. I
Mm.
left this business with somebody who was not very skilled as a farmer. So you can have training, but then there are other things that come with poultry farming.
Mm.
So I asked myself, well, what did you do wrong? How can you build off of this problem
Right.
and move the business forward? So I tell myself today, now that I'm supplying the Liberian market with eggs, maybe if I didn't feel within that time frame, my business probably would have been where, at a low scale.
Right.
Perhaps the number of people I wanted to employ maybe at a lower scale. Again, like I learned so much about the business itself than if I had left it to be like if I have left it in the condition I had it before. So
Mm.
failure allows me to work harder and
Right.
smarter to some extent, and also to tell myself that failing at something doesn't mean things are permanent. It's just a learning experience to do better.
Mm.
Correct.
Um, Another thing is, now that I failed at the poultry business at first, I could have said, "Well, I'm not. I'm no longer going to do that." Taking that experience to start a new farm allows me to make 17,000 per month from just the poultry farm itself at
Wow.
first, because as
Yeah. Now.
17,000 per month just
Wow.
from the poultry, and that's you're looking at 2,000 birds.
Okay.
My farm can scale up to 20,000 birds.
Okay.
So I'm at 2,000 in the next quarter, scaling up to 5,000. So looking at that, I'm like, okay, well, this is good. This is good. I need to do more.
I
But I
got something here.
learned from this experience
Right.
to like scale my business,
Mm.
continue to scale this business in the right way to reduce mortality, to increase revenue, to hire more people.
Right.
So my experience shaped the future pretty much. So anytime I feel I have something, I tell myself you need to get up and try again and try again and try again. You find the solution, have it solved, and then keep going. That's just what I tell myself all the time.
I love
So
that.
interesting. I heard you say that it's a learning curve for you. I also believe that failure is the first step of success is failure, right?
Hmm.
If you don't fail, you're not going to get closer to success. And so, how
Right.
many years have you been doing this poultry farming?
Poultry farm now almost 3 years now.
Almost 3 years. So the
Yeah.
first year essentially was a disaster.
For the first time I had it on Roberts Free Highway was a disaster.
Right.
Year two, I moved location. I armed
Okay.
myself with farmers and people who were into agriculture, and I started to take some courses as well.
Okay.
and and then I foster myself and then move on to like this farm now that can actually house 20,000 birds.
Mm,
And I'm just telling you now that is very lucrative. We currently have 2,000 birds, and when I go back in May, we're going to increase to 5,000 birds to be at that capacity. um, is a very good business. It's very lucrative, as I've said, and it's a lot of work also.
I
But
know.
we are looking at ways to make things more sustainable and less labor intense.
Right.
Mm,
So a lot of it include currently having our water automatically pumped into the birds' drinkers.
Okay.
Instead of just putting water physically now, you can just press the button, it goes in there, it stops and it falls. So like we're finding ways
Okay.
to reduce labor on the farm and also reduce operational costs to increase revenue and profit. So it's a really good business.
let me see if I can try to show. I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time with. I showed it in the background, but I'm back there. Let me see if I can show a full picture. I'm gonna remove.
Mimi.
Yes. Oh
There you
my
go.
goodness.
Look at all of
Yeah.
that.
The
Wow.
eggs.
So for
Yeah.
those that don't believe, this is evidence, and that photo was not photoshopped. So
Nope.
that's
Nope, that's me right there.
what did you eat that day? Look.
Right.
That day, I was like, I'm gonna
Oops.
meet new clients. So some we had some people order from the Pinzo area, ELWA, the airport side, and I was like, my manager was like, "Hey, why do you want to deliver?" And I said, "I want to meet my customers. I would
Okay.
like to interact with them." So I took those and I put it in the car and I said, "Let's go."
Oh.
And I delivered and I spoke with them. Thank you for your business and all of those things. It helped to maintain your customer base and also to get good word out about your business. And so that's why I was in that picture, just being my little common self.
Yeah.
I love that. Even Emma, when you're on the grounds in Liberia, whether it be Ghana, you're on the ground working, and I hear you
Yep.
on the phone telling Emmanuel, we got to be up early in the morning,
Yep.
5 o'clock. We got a meeting, we got this and that, and we are walking. If you're not up and going,
Yep.
don't get left.
Don't get love.
Yep. Yep.
Like
Yep.
that. And one of the things that kind of drew me to you, Emma, was the fact that you're not afraid of competition.
Mm,
So, competition has a negative connotation with certain people where they don't
Mhm.
compete, right? Or if
mhm,
they do it, they're doing it in a negative way, right? So, I start an egg farm. You come sit right next to me and open an egg farm, but you don't know what you're doing, and then you think, you know what I'm saying? So it's
mhm,
just kind of you trying to saturate the market for no reason. But your form of competition, I've heard you say, is come to me or go to somebody else, get the
Yep.
information because it's I want you to succeed. And I think this is what brings us to the part of America that's very attractive, where they have a capitalistic mindset when it comes to business, right?
Mhm.
Compete. It's open
Yep.
competition, right? Let the build big, build better, right? Now, obviously, I don't want to get too deep into that because there has to be checks and balances to
mhm.
Right. Right. Right.
if not, it'll just be greed, and they
Mhm.
somebody's eating it up. But from your perspective, from Emma's perspective, I know I've heard it. How important is capitalism in building and capitalism or even competition in building a strong, sustainable country or continent? How important is that from your perspective?
Competition helps to not only reduce costs, it allows for more diverse ideas.
Right.
So if I'm here having if I have a poultry farm and I'm the only person with that poultry farm, I control the market with my pricing. It
Right.
doesn't help. It doesn't help the common people within the country. It just does not help the cause. It benefits me in terms of profit, but where does the impact come from if you're trying to increase the outlook of the country, if you're trying to trying to increase employment for the country? These
Correct.
are very vital to building a country. So competition allows for a reduction in pricing. If you
Correct.
have more people with a poultry farm, trust me, if I'm selling a cart of egg $55, but you have like 5 other poultry farm, it's not gonna be $55. It will
Right.
have to compete with the pricing that is around so that I don't stay on the water. I have to stay afloat as a business, right? So competition allows for, like I said, brand new ideas. Competition allows for upward mobility. Competition allows for employment, which is very vital for a country, and upward movement within the country. So for me, I like to uplift those who are looking to make an impact. So that's why I always say, okay, I have experience in agriculture, in poultry farming. Come to me. I will give you the info so that you can inspire other people, maybe in a different county. You can help us reduce the price of this product so more people can have access to it. So really just uplifting, motivating people, because I know that a competition, it does help to shape a country in the right direction,
Mm,
as I've seen across, some of the businesses I've done there.
nice.
So, like we said earlier, before we got started, our whole branding now around this has changed to the mindset of an entrepreneur, and then we have three sub branches that we have identified. Is the hardest thing to do is to start, and then you start the building process, and then you just maintaining it, right? So
Hmm.
for somebody that say, you know what, I love the idea that you are open to aligning and training your competition. So what will somebody need to start, as far as since this is actual numbers for you as it
Hmm.
relates to the poultry farming, what will somebody need as far as a starting number, to invest, to start and scale it
That's
to
a
the
good
50,
question.
5,000, 10,000 birds at each level? Can you break that down for us?
Yeah, so the first aspect would be the construction of the poultry farm, poultry buildings. Not
Okay.
one building, but buildings.
Okay.
You need about 2 buildings. So you have the brooding house when you bring your birds, the day old chicks. You need to have them in there for 6 weeks. You give them heat, all of the things to make sure they're good, you well fed and ready to be transferred to your bigger house. Where now is they'll pass that 6 week mark, and now your vitamin has to, different kinds of vitamins, antibiotics, all of those things will be given to them after the 6 weeks mark. So it will be in the second building. The
Okay.
cost of those two things can range between $15,000 to $16,000,
Okay.
considering all things constant in terms of pricing of
Correct.
materials, labor. Again, that would be the price range for those 2 buildings. Now you come to operational costs. You need to have about 5 staff members if you're starting. You want to have your assistant supervisor, your supervisor, your farm technician, your farmer, and then your maintenance person. Number 6 would be your security, depending on what it is that you put on the land to secure the business. So
Okay.
6. As you scale up, you will increase the number of farmers that you have, because obviously you're no longer keeping yourself at 1,000 birds nor 2,000. You're climbing up, so therefore they become more labor intense. So you will need more farmers as you go. So when you think operational cost per year, you're looking at $8,000 if you're arranging a salary accordingly. That's just salary. If and this is a conversation that you have because you are a startup business,
Hmm.
versus if you've already gotten into the market, started to make more money, the salary would not be the same. But that's your starting for all staff members with the year time frame. Then the bulk of your spending is your feed for your birds. Per bag of feed can range between $35 to $40. Day old chick birds, they eat a lot.
Yeah.
So you have to ask yourself per month how many bags of feed you're going to use. And of course, this is when they're younger, obviously they have to eat. So that's the bulk of your spending.
Mm,
Okay. Um, you're looking at roughly almost like 35 to $38,000 your first year for this business to start. Um, as you become more sustainable, then you start to ask yourself, what is the main ingredient for the feed, for this food that, because that's the bulk of your spending. So you
Correct.
have to assess, okay, corn. Then you tell yourself, I need to have a corn farm.
Yes.
And that's what we did.
Wow.
So you find the problem. In this case, we're spending so much money on feed,
Right.
spending it to people. To minimize costs, we have to create our own farm.
Hmm.
So the bulk of the expenditure is no longer feeding now. You see that's pretty much. But again, that's all year one. You know this already. Year two, you say, okay, let me learn how to make the food. Let me get all the ingredients. Let me get people who know how to do this. Let me pay them. Let them show me how. Then
Right.
I can make my own food type of thing, like feeds.
So what I'm hearing you say is, and it's so
Wow.
vital that you have to invest in yourself to get the knowledge to be
Yep.
able then to make these decisions. Because if you don't do that, you will fail.
You will definitely feel you as just because you started to produce, let's say you are a farmer, poultry farmer, you start to see revenue coming, doesn't mean you know everything about the business. In
Right.
Mhm.
order to scale, you have to continue to arm yourself with more knowledge. And this is where if you have to pay a consultant who's been in the field for 10, 20 years, whatever, go and seek more knowledge.
Right.
And this comes to like, okay, is there a new vitamin on the market? Are there workshops that I can attend? All of these things are very vital. And then you arm your farmers from the current skills they have now to having them actually attend those workshops.
Okay.
Because again, you want to have your business moving, not stagnant. The practices that may have been applicable last year may not be applicable this year. So you
Correct.
have to update your knowledge.
Wow.
The natural progression of life. So what you're saying essentially, you need about 30 to 35K first year. That's the building cost, salary for your
Mm-hmm.
staff, 5 staff, correct? And then the fee
Yes.
is about $35 per bag. But you're
Yes.
kind of rounding it up to about 35K a year for
Yep.
that first year.
Yep.
Okay. So again, it goes back to what you said. Because you're doing this in Africa, you're able to really have lower overhead because you can
Yep.
successfully start a poultry farm in America for this amount.
Nope. Nope. But
So,
what's important also is that when we started this farm, we got a Ghanaian farmer from Ghana. And we've already explained that this is a startup business. So
okay.
we are operating at zero in terms of revenue and of that. We're not going to hit profit until after year one. Is
Okay.
this something you're okay with? And if so, we build capacity for you to have 2% ownership. Of course, I can disclose that.
Mhm.
So you be smart for his skills and time, and then he trains other farmers that you're going to hire,
Okay.
and then you expand beyond that. So um,
So you offer more equity, but see, this is where being business savvy comes into play, and you don't necessarily have to go and graduate business school or whatnot. Some of it is just common sense. That's bartering, right? So,
mhm,
hey, I need something you got. I don't necessarily have the money. I'm willing
right,
to give equity in the
yep,
company when we start to become
yep,
profitable. Is
yep,
that okay with you? Most people that are owner minded or know what it means to be an entrepreneur will jump on that because they
yep,
know that this is a great opportunity. So now I'm able to own 3, 5% of a company that's going to grow to a multi-million-dollar in the next 10 years or so. That make more sense because now
yep,
I don't have to do much, but I got 3 to 5% coming to me in dividends, whether it's quarterly or annually, where I don't, it's passive for me because I have other ventures. So I think this is the part of uh, uh, working together that we need to understand as we're going through this quest of solving our problem, and we identify it, right? That it is
mhm,
self worth. If I know what
right,
I'm worth, I'm able to delay gratification, right? Delay
right,
gratification, it don't necessarily means that I'm not going to enjoy it. Just delay
mhm,
it for moment. It's a
yeah,
momentary delay. But
exactly,
again, in investing, we have to understand, don't be looking for no return for at least 3 years or so, 3 years or more. Some people will tell you maybe 2 years, but most people will be like, uh, when am I gonna get my money back? You know, you're like,
Mhm.
Yeah,
no,
and a lot of people are more reliant on instant gratification. What am I going to get right now
yeah,
versus potentially what I could get later on as being a owner of a company, whether it's 3% or 5%. And so this farmer saw it as, well, if I know my job, I'm very skilled. If I scale this business, I could get this.
Mhm.
It's common sense.
yeah,
So he knows I have 3%. I have to protect my interest. Therefore, I need to work smart. I need to
yeah,
train others. I need to protect this place because
Mhm.
I benefit from it as well. I'm not just an employee. I'm an owner of the business.
owner. But we don't know that, sis. So again, when we don't know our worth, we don't know how ownership works. Again, it goes back to that. It always gonna come back to what we identify in the beginning is
Right.
self-worth. Knowing your worth, then you're able to move on. So I think the part of the healing that needs to take place as African, even in the diaspora and those that are on the continent, is just understanding that we are worth something, and
Yep.
understanding that, then we're able to link up and walk together, right? Because
Mhm.
Hmm.
I hate to bring the Bible in there because I'm a believer. I can
Yes.
walk together unless they first agree, right? You have to
Hmm.
agree on something, right? If not, we'll
Right.
be bickering. I'll be down your throat every day. Hey, where's my money? When are we gonna pay? Is this thing gonna
All
work?
right.
Just get my money now so I can leave because I don't think it's gonna work. And it's just
Right.
you don't understand. So again, I think thank you for your perspective on competition because now you are telling people, yes, I'm here, but I'm inviting competition because I don't want to monopolize the
Right.
market.
No.
Essentially, you by yourself, that's what you're doing.
This happened December of last year. So importing stopped on poultry product in the country of Liberia in December. There is no other farm that supply eggs. Guess we from $55 a cart to $75 a cart. And I
Mm.
had a meeting really quickly. I said, "Oh God, this is." I'm like, my empathy comes out now. I'm
Yeah.
like, "Oh God, this is too much." But we are the only one there for them
Mm.
to purchase that eggs from. So
Wow.
the pricing had to change relatively quickly. But is it good? Is it good for the overall? It's not.
Mm,
Is it good for the business and looking at it on a larger scale? I'm gonna make so much money out of stuff. Yes, it is. But then, like I said, there are two priorities here: an
Mm.
impact and profitability. And if something one of them is suffering here, or people are suffering here because now it's $75, oh my God, I need this to for my bakery. I need this for my restaurant. I need this for the hotel. It's like
right.
was the middle ground? And so we monopolized the market. Like for 2 months, we were the only supplier.
Mhm.
And so we had to tell you, well, if it's $75, you still need it.
Right.
Do you see the
Supply
problem?
and demand.
And so
Economics 101.
exactly. Exactly. So even if I said $80, $100, you're still gonna buy it. You know what I mean? But this is why I welcome competition, because we need more and more people on the market. If there's competition, I'm able to like look for new technology, new ways to make sure the business is more sustainable and that more and more people are employed.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's awesome, Emma. This has been great. Good information. So we have our actually president, Mr. President, on here, and he's saying, "How can I invest, Emma? How can he?"
um, in the poetry.
Or what opportunities do you have right now for people to
What's
invest?
open
What's
as it
open?
relates?
So currently we do have opportunity within the real estate and the agriculture sector, mainly for the pineapple business. I think I talked to you guys briefly about this.
Yeah.
Our goal is to export pineapple to the United States, and so we have a pineapple farm in Beaumont, and we are growing pineapple. Currently, we are only cultivating. We're going to be harvesting 10,000 pineapple for now because this is something we're starting. We don't want to go too much over capacity,
Mm.
and that is something that people can invest in. Real estate is another business that people can invest in. I can touch on that a little bit more in the course of this conversation.
Okay. Awesome. And how can folks in the diaspora invest into your business? So, even into your business, are you taking any investments right now?
Yes, we are definitely taking investors, open to investors. One can be a limited partner versus a managing partner.
Okay.
So those options are highlighted in the investment package, of course. And of course, if you need to contact me, maybe do you have my email there, or
It's right
do I
at
have
the
to?
bottom. I got you. I'm sticking with you.
Okay, yeah, yeah. So you guys can definitely contact me via email, and I will respond relatively quickly.
Trust me, guys. Again, we don't want to deviate, but we want to shine a little light on this because I believe in group economics. And ever the first day we met, had that conversation, Emma, I told you about the importance of it because again, together we can go far, right? If we can put our resources together, we're able to go far faster, opposed to one
I agree.
person trying to, hustle and bustle and do all this.
Hmm.
So for the most part, we have partnered with you in two different areas, right?
Yes.
We were able to successfully purchase 2 acres. I mean, two lots. I'm sorry,
Hmm.
from you and your company, and we did get our deed. I know one of the issues people have with buying land in Liberia is that it's risky, right?
It
Hmm.
is.
They're double selling the land and doing all these craziness and all this stuff. But one of the things my wife and I strongly believe in is you're either going to continue to have faith and trust,
Hmm.
where one person getting hurt doesn't necessarily say, "Well, I don't want to do this no more,"
Right. Right.
right? So it's one of those things where if you're bullish on Liberia or Africa, you're able to withstand and have a little bit of leniency.
Hmm.
But most of us have gotten hurt, and that's the truth. So
Yeah.
can you talk to that as far as people getting hurt by purchasing land or potentially even investing and getting hurt? What are some of your feedbacks to those individuals and letting them know what to look forward to as it relates to doing business with you or just overall on the continent?
That's a very good question. A lot of their concerns are valid. Um, Typically, these people speak from experience, and it could be direct experience or family members, and friends that have been victim of land purchasing, or stealing from them. People are stealing their funding, whatever it is. They're basing all of this based on their experience, and I would say the experience are very valid. However, there are still people who are legitimate in terms of the business. And for me, I see this as my reputation is very, very important. I also advertise my businesses all over my YouTube channel, for transparency, and also too that my integrity is key. And so I always tell people though that you don't necessarily have to go through me, but you if you do decide to purchase a piece of property, these are the steps. And if you don't believe me, these are the people you can talk to too, so they can give you their experience. Because you guys have, as you said, you purchased 2 lots, you have your land deed, and the process was explained. Maybe ask questions, like when you have questions, I will answer them. Emmanuel is on ground, and this is not the only investment that you guys are part of. We do have another investment too, and you can see the flow of information there. And so what you're getting is honesty. I'm going to give you the steps by step instructions on how to do that. I also do videotaping of, if you need a purchase and you don't have family members back home or friends back home who can stand on your behalf to take a look at these properties, my guy will call you on video to give you a tour of the place.
Yes, he
Okay, give
will.
you a tour of the place, and you're going to take a look at the place, and then obviously we are going to have a contract established. Most times there's nobody giving you a contract for that. And I also live here too, you know where to find me. It's very easy. So you go through the contract phase, like where am I going, Mimi? You guys know me.
Got you right in my back pocket. I already know.
Right. It's like, so you have this contract, you have my phone number, you have my emails. So most of the people in the Liberian community know my parents, they know me. But if you're not in the Liberian community, you're telling yourself I'm taking a risk.
Mm-hmm.
Is this something that I can sustain? Is this risk something I can live with or live without?
Mm.
Right.
That's really what I always tell people. And so, yes, I'm gonna provide you with the land. Obviously, everything is legit. I've done all my, my groundwork. Trust me, I've done all my groundwork. I also have a lawyer who reviews all of these things before I can even give you paperwork.
Mm.
um, I detail all of those things for you because at the end of the day, if I have a bad review, it's not good for my business. I
Uh-huh.
Right.
don't want that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want that. So I just ensure that I have people around me who also can be very honest
Yes.
and work with integrity. And that's why I always reference Emmanuel because I worked with Emmanuel for almost 4 years and I trust the work he does. And then everyone else around me, I've managed to ensure that we work with the utmost integrity
Yeah.
because this is my brand and I'm trying to make a bigger impact on the continent. So lying to people about a piece of property is not going to help my brand.
That's
So
right.
that's that's that. And but you guys, of course, are you can give your testimony about that. And Bill already said it. You've invested in that community land, and you are also part of the investment as well. So
Yes. I want you to talk about it, like everything that you're doing, so people can know that you are a busy, busy lady. And I don't know how you can keep up with us, still have time to do an interview or even text back in the middle of the night. I don't know how you still work, but shine a little bit of light on that. I have running down at the bottom your construction company. You have a construction company, so not only do you get, you kind of have the whole package, and that's what
mhm.
I feel even more better going with you with investing is because you got the construction company. It's like an all-in-one deal. It's kind of hard to go out there and find if you want to invest in land, buy land, or
Right.
anything, and you have to kind of put pieces together. But when you can go to the one-stop shop, that's a blessing. And you kind of have the one-stop shop. You have the construction company. You got the people that's running and going and do the deeds. Just go through me, or you can go pay a lot of money over there and have to do it like this. So explain a little bit of that, about that, Emma. I mean, tell the people what you're doing, far as your construction company. You're building homes, and you ain't building no homes with the little red shacks.
Nope.
We building modern day homes. Okay, I'm this is my
you cra-
whole
you
vision.
crack me up. I swear.
Yes, you like that's my whole vision. This is something I talk to Bill all the time, and Bill's like, it's not that easy. It's not that easy. Just go and do that. But y'all know what? I found my way in, and I'm in, and I'm staying in. Okay. So,
Ah,
Emma,
you crack me up.
a little bit about this, and I'll show some pictures. Let me see if I can show some pictures because you got these modern day homes that are coming up in Liberia. I mean, you're just taking it to another level. I also want to just add in there that Liberia, West Africa has not ultimately recovered from the war that happened in 2000, early 2000,
2000, 1990, 2000. Yeah.
late 1990s. So they still have not recovered. That's another reason why there's so much opportunity there
Yep.
Yeah.
to rebuild that country. And so, guys, if y'all thinking about it, y'all need to really get on track and let's get this thing going so we can rebuild this place because someday we're gonna go back home.
For sure. For sure.
Have some stuff put in place. We need to be able to take a little bit of piece of America back with us because we can't live.
Okay. Okay.
We can't live without something. So we need to go back and rebuild that. And not only are you
um.
working in Liberia, but you're going across Africa, like I said in the beginning. You're all in Ghana. I think you got some stuff in Rwanda or something.
Yeah.
Girl,
Hmm.
can I tell you? Let me just be a little transparent. The hood part of me, I didn't even know Rwanda was real when I was when I was young. I thought, oh no. Okay, I mean, like, obviously, since I've grown up, I've learned that, and but so Rwanda is a true place, guys. Not with Canada, but okay. So this place really exists, and we need to go back home. Get your passport, go back home and visit. Take a trip with Emma. Feel free. You need to take a trip with us. We're
Yes.
going. We got room and board, all that stuff. Y'all need to hop on this. But let me let you go ahead and go, Emma, and you tell them about what's going on. What you got going
What you
on?
got?
Mimi, you crack me up, girl. So one thing I learned from college, my professor told me is like, Emma, if you don't learn anything, I want you to learn this. If
Hmm.
you can keep your resources in one place,
Yes.
try to do that.
Hmm.
So this construction company reminds me of Kaiser. I used to work as an intern at Kaiser. Kaiser is used as a one-stop shop. So you go to Kaiser, you get treated. Your pharmacy is right there. You need to go see your eye doctor. Your eye doctor is right there. They don't do so much out of network.
Right.
So my thing is, if you're buying a land, you need to build on the land.
Sorry.
Correct.
Yes.
So you need a construction company to
Yeah.
build.
Right.
And so I
It's a
studied
no-brainer, huh?
no brainer.
Only makes sense.
Just like I said with the poultry farm, I'm trying to scale. I need corn. I need to plant the corn.
Yes.
So the goal is to make sure it circulates, right?
Right.
It just, but it needs to be done well.
Correct.
So in doing so, I need to recruit well. I need from management. It starts with me
Right.
to the manager to supervisor and everyone else that make up this team. I need to ensure that they still keep up with the vision and mission of the company. And
Correct.
so that's really the main goal of this construction company. And of course, if I need to build my real estate, the Airbnbs or the short-term rentals, they're going to build it.
Correct.
And
Yeah.
then we have short-term rentals and we have homes to sell. The construction company does the same. I get the land, construction company builds, I sell the house. So it needs to be a full circle here, right? And so this is where you keep the funds circulating and you keep employment going higher. Because construction company, I have over 172 staff members. And that could include subcontractors, contractors, and full-time staff. The goal, like I said, to continue to make the impact and also to build generational wealth for
And
my
that's what
family.
you running there. Yes.
And so the opportunities there for real estate in Liberia is very visible. A lot of people try to go over there. The apartments per night could be $125 per night, versus $150 per night. You see that if you are at 70% capacity across a whole month, you can see how much you make there. So 70% times your amount, the amount of days times your daily rate. That's your capacity. That's the occupancy per month that you get, and you can see that there is so much value there financially for real estate. So
Wow.
what I do, I don't just rent it out per month. I just do short-term leases. Okay, people coming into the country can rent it out. What I do in Ghana is the same. The difference is though in Ghana, I lease it at first. I
Okay.
don't buy the properties in Ghana because there's a couple of red tips to go through. You have to establish residency, and then there are some other things that I have to get in order to acquire the property to buy it. So what I do, I lease properties in East Legon, then I Airbnb it, 70 to 75% occupancy. I'm okay with that.
Wow.
During the month of December, it goes to 80%. And
Wow.
so, I studied those two things, and that's what I do in Ghana, real estate. The market is hot. Everybody wants to go to Ghana. Everybody wants to stay in a nice area. And so I do that there. My goal is to acquire properties there that I purchase,
Yeah.
and then, my money can go a long way there. In Rwanda, I only have a promotion and branding business. The reason I wanted to start with this business because to open a business in Rwanda is relatively easy. The paperwork documentation is quickly done.
I heard.
To get a property, you can acquire the property within 10 days, 7 to 10 business days, and it's only 1% of that property value. So I started there with an apartment, but again, that's just a separate real estate thing. But what I do now with 4 staff members is the branding and promotion, marketing, all of those things. And these guys also do like software development. Um, that's the kind of business I do in Rwanda, just because again, I don't want to monitor it too much. I don't have time to monitor that business too much. And so a lot of it is work online, work from home type of thing. With the guys, we have meetings and all of those things. So that is what I do in Rwanda. South Africa, I'm exploring real estate on that side, but I need to know more about that region. Well, for now, my main focus is Liberia, just because the opportunities are visible and they're not being capitalized on.
Definitely. Well, I want to try to take some not pictures, but I have some pictures that you sent me, and some pictures I have even of the land that we actually purchased on, and what
Yay!
you're bringing up, I mean, what you're coming up on. So I'm gonna remove us and see if I can work it out like that. And I'm gonna add your voice back to it, and I'm gonna see if I can do that and
Excellent.
work it out. Emma, try to speak when I remove you, okay?
Oh, hello, you guys can hear me? I think so. Yeah, yeah, Mimi. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I'm good. Hi, Mimi.
Okay. For some reason, it's not working, but y'all gonna have to take a look from the back like this, you guys. But
So what we'll do is we're running down on time. We try to keep these conversations within the hour. It's so much to fit in there. Um, but we'll have to do a part two because Emma's going back. I believe I'm not sure when, but when she comes back, we'll definitely bring her back on to do a part two and also update because Emma, on our end, I don't think you were able to see the conversations, but we're getting so many questions. We got some people
Oh.
to go, passports in hand.
yeah.
When we going, uh, again, we all can do a little bit to impact the change that we want to see, right?
hmm
I'm bullish when it comes to Africa as a continent, Liberia especially, being, not being biased, but that's where I was born. And so, call it what you want. uh, just the fact of knowing that the opportunities are endless and the opportunity is kind of like a no-brainer at this point. But
hmm
again, it takes the individual to say, you know what, I have to be able to see in the future, and I know this is going to work out, right? Opposed to me sitting down and speculating if it will or if it wouldn't. I want to be able to take advantage. So it segued us into our last question before we wrap up. What does success mean to you? After
um,
all of that, we're
waking
wrapping up with this question. What does success mean to you?
waking up and knowing that people have been impacted.
mm.
Wow.
Hmm. Wow.
Is
Well,
that simple?
that's the ultimate goal.
That's it. When I speak with my security, who says, "Look, I know how to read and write now because of his insurance." So, like my company, I have insurances across in different businesses. The insurance is different for each business. So
Mm.
one could be tuition for the kids, or one could be an increase per quarter. So my security said, "I would like to go to night school."
Mm.
So this is for him to learn how to read, and I had to make that. I had to put that on his bill as his insurance.
Mhm.
And so knowing that he can communicate with me well and be able to write his name and do those things bring more joy to my heart that I'm making an impact.
Yeah.
Yeah, the money is good, but when somebody said my life has been transformed, that is the most important aspect of what I do.
So success is outside of yourself. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Because I agree with you 100%. I said it earlier. I believe that wealth is a byproduct of you solving a problem. So we're not worried about the money, right? We got it because we're problem solvers.
Right, right.
But in solving the problem, the impact and helping the individuals necessarily find their worth, because that's the whole goal. We want you to know that you're worth something.
Mhm.
Yep.
And that testimonial, as far as that individual saying, you know what, this is what I want, that would not have happened if you didn't take the chance to go out there and start something. So I
Yep.
agree 100%, Emma, because at the end of the day, other people say, well, success is me being wealthy. Well, you're one-minded, and you're full of yourself because again, selflessness is what is going to make you worthy, wealthy. Because at the end of the day, people will gravitate, people will be attracted to you because you are doing something and you are solving a problem. So Emma, man, we can go on for hours with this
Maybe.
because uh, I'm very passionate when it comes to Liberia. I'm passionate about people overall. I
Yes.
live in America now. I'm very passionate. even just something that I do at my church. I'm the mission pastor there, so we do home and foreign missions, and so we're able to impact people, and that's what I love to do. I've been doing it for years, but at the end of the day, it's bigger than myself, right? And now we're trying to transition to understand that people need help. You keep feeding people and just giving them bread every day, they become, you enable them, right? They become more of that dependency on you, and they don't
Professional beggars, according to Bill.
Professional beggar.
become a professional
Yeah.
beggar. Because every time I see you, you're asking me for something, right? The one of the presidents said, "Don't ask what your country can do for you. Ask what
Kennedy,
you do
Kennedy,
for
exactly.
exactly what you can do for your country." And so if we understand that I need to stop begging and ask, "Hey, help me help my country,"
Mm.
then it changes the dynamic. Because now that employee that now say he can read and write says, now you have empowered him to the place where you can trust him with more.
Yes. Hmm.
You
And
can
he
trust
trusts
him
her
with more,
too.
right? And the
Yep,
trust is mutual.
Yes.
And
yep.
I think that's how it's going to spread. It's just going to take you trusting and believing and having faith. Because if I'm pretty sure you heard stories of people saying, don't trust people in Africa, or
Oh
is
yeah.
they're going to do this and do that, but you neglected all that you have heard,
Yeah,
trusting that there's something different. Humanity has the right and the ability to change, and one
absolutely.
person should not negate you helping the other person. That man didn't do nothing to
Nope.
Emma or anybody else to make them not have faith in him.
Hmm.
So at everybody else's expense, we're going to suffer this one individual. I
Nope.
think that's wrong on so many levels.
Right. Right.
So many levels. So, uh, sis, thank you
This
for
has
your
been
time.
great. Thank you so much.
We
Thank you, everybody who joined us tonight.
everybody, all of our people, it's been blowing up since we got so many comments, and this has been a very
Yeah.
engaging conversation.
I wanna feedback to Brother Mike. He had asked when are we going? He wants to go to, we're going in December. And but when are you going to Liberia? You're going
I'll go
next
next
Christmas.
in 2 weeks. In two
Yeah,
weeks, and I'll go back in December too. Yeah,
yeah. How long are you gonna
we
be
move.
there?
I'll be there for a month and a half because we have to skill that poetry to 5,000. You know, got to skill, got to skill.
Yes, yes.
So I'll be there for almost 2 months, and then I'll be back and go back in December to open the entertainment center.
Okay.
Oh, we
So
forgot about the entertainment center. Real quick, just a quick update on that. What's going on? What is it going to be? And when are you going to open it?
so it's a riverfront entertainment center that
What?
will it has a bar. It's on the
Wow.
river, and it's going to consist of events, private events, public events, and just people to go and have a great time in a different atmosphere that is calming, relaxing. I also have a room below the top floor, so that's for rent also. But it's just an environment to come and relax and just free your mind from all the chaos that may be happening in your life, and
Hmm.
enjoy some live music, and be by the river, and just have fun.
Yes.
And
I
when you
love
say it's going to open?
December.
This
This
December.
Oh,
December.
so we're
Yeah.
gonna be there. So we gonna
You
wait.
guys are gonna have your special invite.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, we want to be there for the ribbon cutting and all of that. That is so
Yes.
exciting. And
Yeah.
one of the things too, I think we'll talk specifically about when we bring you back is, and you probably should consider teaching a course on management, time
Mm, mm,
management, because
mm.
somebody that is doing 100 things and you are successful at all of these things
Grateful to God. Yeah.
is not right. God first, but you having the ability to have, that's wisdom, that's understanding, because some of us
Mhm.
not even successful at one thing.
Hmm.
So it's for real, and not just being honest.
That's
So
just
the
so true.
fact that you are so successful at this, I hope that you consider packaging a management course that you'll be able to teach to your people, your presenter. And I want to be the first one, since
Me
I'm
too.
bringing this up. If you don't already have it, right? If you don't,
Girl.
I want, because again, we have to multitask, and the definition of entrepreneur is being able to manage multiple businesses, right?
Mhm.
And a lot of people think you're just supposed to have one. I get it. You can't manage 10 without successfully managing one. And so the ability of you being able to manage across the board and have a success across the board on those businesses, I think it's a skill that is very attractive, especially for young people that want to have multiple ventures going on, but at the same time, not just to say I'm doing 100 things,
Man.
but I'm a successful across the board with these things. So please consider that, Emma, and I'm excited. Your future is bright. I don't need to tell you that, but I'm excited about what we're gonna do together as far as business.
Yes.
So
Yes.
last comments are on you, sis, and then we'll go ahead and let everybody else go. But we're grateful for your.
I just want to throw out there too. I know Emma kept saying to let tell them what y'all doing too. We are a part of her investment groups, you guys.
Yeah.
We are invested in her resort she got going on right now. Like everything is like mind blowing. So we're a part of her investment group, and we also have invested in 2 lots on the land that she has. And so not only us, but we are in a group with other people all over this world, you guys, and everybody's investing. Everybody, we have built a family,
Yes. Yes.
our family. So
Yes,
shout out
I love
to
it.
Israel. And
Liberian Investment
there we
Group.
go, Liberian
Yep.
Investment Group. Yes, yes. So we speak on a daily. She's not going to just get your money or get your investment or anything and leave you hanging like this. Like, it ain't like that. She is on it, you guys, and we can back that up. So once we get done, I will show you guys some of the pictures at the end. I wasn't able to add it to this live, but I will show some of the pictures at the end so you guys can just see a little bit. She's not only like doing great things, but she's having fun at doing it too. And she
Yes.
in Africa, she's looking good, feeling good, everything.
So
So
shout out to
Yes.
Stefan out there right now
yep,
doing
Stefan
this
is on
thing
the
with the
ground
team.
now. Yeah,
Yes.
Stefan, appreciate you, brother.
yep.
Yeah. But I want to tell your listeners and your viewers, thank you for tuning in. I know this is a Sunday. Just taking the time to tune into this live means a lot to all of us. And to Bill and Maisha, you guys are doing the thing, the damn thing, whatever. Thank you for having me on your platform. You guys are so insightful and business minded. I really like your mindset, and of course, look forward to working with you guys, whether it's the investment group or the community or future agriculture project. I would definitely like to continue to work with all of you. So thank you so much for your time and being here on this Sunday. All blessings to y'all.
And
Yes,
give them your social media
absolutely.
handles if you can as
I
well.
think I've been adding it on here, so
Yeah.
hopefully everybody has been getting them. Here is her contact, you guys, as the wadm21@gmail.com. And then we have her YouTube account. Y'all can find her. Only thing you got to type in is Zawadi M. You're going to see her. The height.
I
Okay.
give a sector.
And then you want to check
Baby, you crack me up.
then you want to check her construction company out, you guys. Check her out. I mean, she got it going on. Look at the houses that they are working on and what they plan to build. Modernbconstruction.com. I mean, this is legit. It ain't no play over here. Okay.
Nope.
Doing real thing, yeah. All right. And so I'm gonna go ahead and put you in the background, Emma, us too. And I'm gonna just go ahead and show you guys the pictures, y'all. Y'all enjoy the pictures. And then that will just wrap it up. I'll go ahead and wrap it up from there.
Awesome.
Right.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And that wraps it up, you guys. I hope y'all enjoyed the pictures. I hope you guys enjoyed Ms. Zawadi. You guys have an awesome evening. And until next time, we will see you. We are out. Bye, guys.